I'm going to try to make a plane, an RC plane. After all, they're so tiny, they can't be that difficult to make, right? For background context, I have no idea how to fly an RC plane, but I want to learn how to in hopes to get into FPV someday. So, I logically thought that a big, light, slow, high lift, high drag kind of build would be ideal to learn what I'm doing. I intend to use foam board for most surfaces and my 3D printer for some smaller, more detailed things. I designed some neat but simple and strong wing ribs in CAD and printed them out. I then glued them onto some wooden dowel rods, which will become the wing spars later on. Next, I designed and printed some things to hold the wings together. Sliding the wings into place was super satisfying, however, I do have some concerns about the strength of the part which holds them. The plane has some dihedral, which I designed into the piece that holds the spars. I then made a quick and simple tail with foam board and a small piece of dowel for rigidity. I then needed to figure out what I could possibly use for such a long and light fuselage. I happened to have another spare dowel, so I stupidly thought that that would be a brilliant idea. Anyways, the plane is really starting to come together, and the next thing to do is to cut out the ailerons for the wing. Here I made some 3D printed control surfaces, because why not? Oh, also then my project ADHD kinda kicked in, and I started making a completely different plane simultaneously. I had convinced myself that by making a smaller, simpler design that I'd have a better chance flying the big one, which is ironic because this was my goal from the start. Anyways, I printed out a motor adapter thingy which was going to sit on the wing's body and then just shoved all of the electronics for it into it. And that's it. This thing took maybe an hour and a half to make, and I had very little faith in it actually working. I tried to fly it twice. Both attempts proved that the plane was severely nose heavy, and it just ended up burying its nose into the snow. Moving on now, I continued on the original plane and I began working on the electronics for it. The more that I kept working on this one, the more that I realized the unlikeliness of the flimsy dowel rod fuselage actually being a success. But I kept going anyways because I was in pretty far for this one. I thought for a while and decided to pull the plug on this one. It was pretty clear that it would just end up breaking the electronics. However, all hope is not lost. The wings that I made are modular, so I can remove them and reuse them when I come back for a second attempt. I really did want to make a working plane for this video though, so I quickly made a third plane. Another wing. I did zero research about the center of gravity and lift on these planes, nor did I figure out how that relates to the wingspan or the chord of them. This one was basically a shot in the dark attempt to redeem myself, and as you can expect, it did not go well either.
Bruh. Bruh.
Planes are hard, but I'm not going to give up on this. I'm simply running out of time. In the future, when I come back to this, I learned that I need to do more research about how to position the CG relative to the center of lift on wings, and that I need a better thought-out plan going into these projects. Also though, I will have the wings that I've already made for the original plane, which I was going to base this video around. So that being said, I have confidence that I will achieve this goal eventually, but at least I learned a great deal from what I've done so far. Thanks for watching.